Now, cutting tuition fees might sound like a vote winner, but today a former Education Secretary has said that the government's plans to do just that would backfire and penalise the poorest. Ministers say that they'll force universities to cut the cost of some courses depending on the contribution that they make to the students and the country's future. But how do you measure value for money in education? Our correspondent Rebecca Williams reports now from Bristol.
These students are in halls of residence in their first year at Bristol University. And they've been reacting to a suggestion that tuition fees could in future be based on how much a course costs to run or how likely it is to influence a person's future career.
And it just seems a bit unfair that we pay almost exactly the same as someone who has 7 hours contact hours, whereas I have something like about 20 every week.
I think resource-wise, definitely it makes sense because humanities degrees are probably paying for the supplementing of degrees which require more equipment and more expense. But I would say that the degree you do doesn't necessarily dictate the job that you're going to go into.
It looks at university as a means to an end, which is just, I'm here for a job. And that shouldn't be what it is. It's so much more of a holistic experience. You should be studying something that you actually enjoy, not just because you want a job at the end.
So the likes of law and medicine, where there's a greater earning potential, will presumably be more expensive. In 2016, there were nearly 2 million students studying undergraduate courses in the UK. Courses can cost up to £9,250 a year, and they usually last for 3 years. Before 2012, students were charged around a third of that. But from April the 1st, the repayment threshold will go up, meaning students won't have to pay back any of their debt until they earn at least £25,000. And that's being welcomed by the likes of Josh Goddard, a history student at Bristol UE, who now works part-time as a delivery driver to fund his education.
I think it's good for people who are going to be middle earners for a lot of their career, so it means if they're earning less than 25, then obviously it's going to be more beneficial for them, and then it penalises people who are earning more, but if they're earning more, then I guess they can pay back more.
A review into university funding in England is likely to be unveiled next week. It's thought the review will look at issues such as cutting or freezing tuition fees, as well as interest rates on loan repayments.
If you look at the cost of undergraduate courses taken across the piece, all the way from medicine to arts and humanities, English universities just about break even on the teaching that they provide for home students. So there's not much room for manoeuvre unless you want to make some universities go broke.
Tuition fees in university towns and cities like Bristol have in recent years been hugely controversial. They were even a hot topic of conversation during last year's snap election. But change, it seems, across England could be coming. Rebecca Williams, Sky News.